And oh my god, I didn't open VC face yet. Oops. And I don't have my game up. Oh no. Okay. Great. Okay. So it's doing it again. Where it's not. Oh, excuse me. Jesus. Plus button. Did I do... No. There we go. There we go. I probably should have set this up before I got... I am sorry. Whoopsie doodle. Okay, I'm always doing this. I start before I have everything done. Okay. Let me get my... There we go. Hello. Okay, now we're ready. I'm so sorry about that. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna reset position. Ugh. Makes noises. Okay, hello. Welcome to the stream. We're playing more 999 today. And now his name person's name doors. Yeah. We're going to try to get at least one ending, if not two, and depending on how long this takes. So yeah, let's get to it. Continue. Yes, please.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
That's a good start. Oh, wrong window. What a good start. Okay. No, I agree. Everybody's still here.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Right, Junpei?
Yeah. Oh, the solar system keys. Actually, we found one in the laboratory too. Here, the Earth key.
Ooh.
I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, on it.
Now we have 3 keys that we haven't used yet.
Yeah. The Jupiter key that we found in the operating room. The Saturn key card we found in the kitchen. And the Earth key Lotus just gave me.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait! What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. Just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So, 7, you'll help me, won't you?
Huh? Me? Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yep.
Yes, you are.
All right, let's get moving. Okay, we're heading out.
Be careful.
Whoa. Didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
Okay, we're off.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bruh.
All right, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving.
Where are we going?
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
Thank you, Junpei. That's, exactly.
All right, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Captain Obvious. That's what I was trying to get.
Great, back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
What do you mean?
Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we?
No.
I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Of course there's a reason. And sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky.
Huh?
This.
The Saturn key card. And the Earth key? I'm lost.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. So the 2 keys that Jumpy has?
Should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yes, that's right.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into 2 teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you 2 can search Saturn, all right?
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key. We have no idea what's on the other side of these. So don't go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card. Great! It looks like it's working now.
All right, now how do I call the elevator? Oh, it only has the upside down triangle on it.
What? The upside down triangle? You mean the down button? Nobody calls it that. I said this in the first stream too. Nobody calls it the upside down triangle button.
I guess there's no up button. Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
I kinda, hang on. There. Okay.
It opened! Look, Jumpy!
Sweet! It opened! Let's get going.
Wait!
What?
Okay.
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
June. Please. So, I could pick the right answer. Or I could pick the funny answer. Hi, pick funny. Hello. Welcome to my stream. Hello. Pick the funny answer. Okay.
Well, we will be all alone in here.
Jumpy?
Huh? Oh, nothing. It's not important. Come on, let's go.
I said wait a minute.
Why?
Hi. First time through the game. No, this is my second or third playthrough, but I haven't played it, for quite a while. I think since, like, right before, Zero Time Dilemma came out, I replayed it. So. Yeah. But it's one of my favorite games. And this series is one of my favorite series, so I wanted to play it on stream.
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy?
Afraid of what?
It always makes me laugh too.
Well, I've never... You know.
It's your first time?
I might... get wet.
What?
There. I'd get soaking wet.
Oh god. Oh, is it? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry about that.
Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works.
Thank you, Kairosa. Sorry about that.
I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
Please help.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome to the stream, Kairosa. How are you?
You don't mind
Mind what?
getting wet?
I'm gonna die.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it.
I'm gonna die.
Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave.
Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know? What happens, happens, right? I mean, if you get the chance, you've just got to go for it. That's what a man is supposed to do, I guess.
Innuendos.
You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
I'm really scared.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you've never done it before.
Yes. So, I don't think I'll be able to last very long. And then it'll be over.
Oh my god. Save
Over?
me.
Yes. I'll go to heaven.
Heaven?
It feels kind of like you're floating in space, and your mind gets all fuzzy, like when you pass out.
I'm gonna die. Yeah, I've started playing Final Fantasy 14 again too. A patch came out yesterday, so I've been having fun with it.
At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it.
Yes, I've heard that too. Although I don't think the same thing happens to guys.
I'm gonna die.
What?
Huh?
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets into your body, the same thing happens to everyone.
I'm gonna die.
Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man. I mean, generally.
Yeah, I'm glad they did too. I think I will have to go through earlier stuff with AI party members now. Generally.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. Your body will force you to swallow some of it. Eventually.
Dude.
What are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you.
I'm gonna die.
I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
Oh, is that so?
I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and then the water would get into your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you pass out. Huh.
Oh.
Hmm?
That laugh. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't last very long.
See?
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D-deck, is completely underwater.
Yeah, it does. I kind of like it. Doesn't. It's not just like silence.
An elevator heading to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary. Hey,
Okay,
wait
now
a
that's
minute.
over.
This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yes, I guess it didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, take a look inside. It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right. They are.
Well, let's test it.
Tested.
Yeah, watch this. Now, I'll just put one foot inside the elevator and look over at the buttons. Oh, there's only two, E and C. All right, I'll push E.
I think I can hear it opening on E deck.
I always keep forgetting to look at this. Okay, I want to read this. The psychological reaction. Then it's only natural? Is that is that what's natural for living beings? Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. June seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror. Yeah, it is. Okay, so he pressed the E button, jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. Okay.
Okay, that's done. Now I'll just press the button again.
I'm kind of sad that you lose some stuff
Yep, not a single drop of water to be seen.
from the novel mode when you're in this mode. They should just keep it, but whatever. Because I will always remember, like, I think it's when you find, or when you look at the ninth man, they, like, describe it so, the gore, so clearly that you're just like, ew. And they had to tone it down for the next day game because people were grossed out by it.
See?
What does that mean? How can E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. It's probably why they default to adventure screen. Um, but I like playing this part because I've never played it with voices before. I've only played it on the EDS. So, um, I like listening to the new voice acting. I think it's nice.
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E-deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you.
I see. So is that why the ship hasn't sunk?
Where's D-Deck? You didn't draw D-Deck, Junpei. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The shape of the inside keeps it all from filling with water?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, alright?
But
Come on, just do it, alright?
And then I realized I should probably read the narration. He pushed the E buttons and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth, as if she was trying to make a decision, when suddenly...
I'm coming with you.
Huh?
At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors.
Hey, wait!
Junpei jammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late.
Oh, crap, it closed!
The door had shut had shut. He and June were in the elevator, and it was headed down to D deck. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on E deck.
I can't just let you go alone, you know.
Ah, jeez.
I like the narration. I should have realized that the voice acting would have been in the same. Oh well. The elevator stopped and the door slid open. They tentatively stepped out and looked around.
It looks normal.
No fish going about their fishy business, or a jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish. Or at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out and her mouth a tiny, intense frown. It is.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June looked around nervously, then exhaled.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks?
Oh. Junpei thought about that for a moment.
Well, we'd probably get really wet up there.
Huh?
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can, once we're done looking around down here.
He made a joke.
Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Yep.
Okay, good idea.
Now then.
Junpei glanced around the room they'd find themselves in. The first thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. He ran the length of the room separating... they ran the length of the room separating the left elevator from the right one.
Iron bars. Well, we can't go over there.
Right.
Come on, Mom.
Then maybe...
In the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening. He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner.
It looks like there's a long straight hallway down this way.
Something's written on the door at the end. Wait, is that...
Let's check.
You can see it from here, guys. Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip, somewhere between a run and a jog. Before long, they found themselves in front of a dead door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. 6.
I knew it!
This is a numbered door.
And indeed, there is a red bolted to the wall right next to the door.
But we can't do anything with only the two of us.
We better head back and let everyone know.
Yes.
Junpei and June turned and headed back to C deck.
Wait, what's this?
On the way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall.
Is this the map for E-Deck? I should take it with me.
Dot, 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 dot.
Huh, so you guys found door 1.
They met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they'd found. Apparently there was another numbered door on A deck, just like the one on E deck, beyond the door that the Earth Key opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door.
So now we've located 2 new doors. The 6 door and the 1 door.
You know, it is interesting that E-Deck wasn't flooded.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought.
Well, we don't really know if all of E-Deck is safe. We only checked the area around the elevator.
Yeah, even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yes.
And that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
That thought made them all go quiet for a moment. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself, and Santa cracked a stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing.
Yeah?
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
June looked up at Junpei with large, pleading eyes.
You're right. Ace and his team might be back already.
Well, Junpei and I should be able to open door 1.
Huh? You guys leaving me behind?
8 plus 6 plus 5 is 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1.
Just kidding. All right, let's go.
Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed. Back to the large hospital room they went. I don't know that word. use such big words. Difficult words. The moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
It was 7.
7?
Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back.
What's wrong?
It looked as though there was something strange about them. 7 had the look of a man who had seen a ghost. Ace was just pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments from passing out entirely. For a long moment, they simply stood there looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did. He looked at 7.
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that?
7 was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him hard. His shoulders were trembling, and his voice was strained.
Snake was...
Oh.
Snake is...
7 couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is dead. He died, just as the 9th man did.
It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room. Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken, and he realized he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beading on his forehead and neck. June, Santa, and Lotus looked at the way he felt. All 3 are frozen in place, their faces white.
God, that's not true, is it?
We should make sure.
Yeah, right. We should.
They nodded to one another and headed for the number 3 door.
Wait, not that way.
What? Why not?
They stopped short and turned to look at 7. He was pointing at the door with no number.
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
I like the music in this game.
The shower room, on the left side of the hallway. I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
That means we can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then let's go.
Their new destination was clear. Junpei and his companions headed toward the door with no number. Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the left
This
wall.
wasn't open when we passed here before.
But now, just as 7 had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open.
Well, let's keep going.
Yeah, it is a little too eerie. It's really... Oh. Something's wrong type of song. They looked at it for a moment, then stepped inside.
Oh, it smells horrible.
Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut.
Ugh, yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
It was just as bad as they said, perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. Oh, do I have to read this? It was sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance to his stomach. He put his hands over his mouth and struggled to keep what little was in his stomach where it belonged.
Where is he? Where's Snake?
Didn't have to wonder where the body was.
There.
There was blood everywhere. A few arms of the splatter reaching towards them as I walked through the door. They got the M rating. By golly, they'll use it. Yeah, that's true. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider.
June, you should stay here.
But
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright?
He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his head on her shoulder as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole, turned and... I don't remember that part. Turned and walked towards the end of the divider.
I'm going in.
Shove her into the ground like a tent pole. What the fuck? It felt like it took an eternity for him to get there. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually they reached the divider. It's kind of cute. He's like, stay. They looked at one another and nodded slowly. Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. For a moment, he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. Collapse in his chest like an empty... Okay. The tentacle part. The tentacle part. Amazing. Like an empty cigarette cart. Okay. He knew that in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Yeah, this is where... I think this is where it was. Knows I'm watching a visual novel. It knows. Do I have to read this? Do you want me to read? I should probably read it. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in the great Red Sea. A vast ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained... Oh. You don't have to, obviously. I mean, true. Ugh. This is... Yeah.
Just like Ace said.
Santa's voice was strained. Junpei suspected he was holding down some...
Just like the ninth man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
I have seen all the endings, but I'm playing this on stream for somebody, so they don't, who is blind to the game, so I don't really want to say any spoilers. But yeah, same. Yeah, thank you. It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful.
The bone is coming out of his left arm.
Did he have to say that?
It's definitely an open fracture.
Thanks. Yeah, he's dead. I don't think a fracture's fine. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces.
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, am I moving?
Yeah, can't even tell who it is.
Half his head had simply collapsed. This is what I remember. I remember this description very clearly. Good thing I had pizza this week already. Wouldn't want it later. Wouldn't want it now. His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with yellow piping, the gray slacks.
But the clothes are...
They were all familiar to Junpei.
No mistake about it. It's Snake.
Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat. Dot, 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 dot. Okay, now that that's over. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. Yeah. I'd say a drink, but it's only 9:50 in the morning for me, so it's almost 10 a.m. I don't think I should be drinking that early. It was Clover. Pets her. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the Ninth Man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each one of them in turn and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3.
Poor Snake.
Then they shoved him into it, alone, and waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door. And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh?
Yup. Sorry about that.
You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open
Maybe.
for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah. That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Perps.
Well,
Nope.
just in case, I want to make sure.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted. Hi, Monocled Unicorn. Welcome to the stream. How are you today? Hello.
Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
And that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah. That means anybody could be a killer.
Killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
Yeah.
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
I mean, he does have a point.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes, almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question.
Junpei hadn't really considered
If
that.
Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Junpei... Was Zero still on the ship with them? Of course he was. That was obvious. Zero was somewhere on the ship, but Junpei had no idea where. Junpei mumbled to himself, lost in thought.
Where could Zero be hiding?
Suddenly, everybody went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting, moaning noise, and moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
Scarecord. Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? Was he one of them? Do you think it's possible, or should we say it's crazy? Oops. I wanted to make sure. I'm gonna... Give me a sec. Reset. Okay. Boop. That's crazy.
Isn't the ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger. Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive.
Clover looked up at Junpei and her face fell.
You don't believe me.
Her eyes were so pitiful. The moment Junpei's met them, he felt his heart tighten. He didn't think what he said was wrong, but perhaps the way he said it had been. He'd been too insensitive. Clover had just lost her brother. His death would have been bad enough, but she'd also seen the blasted wreck of his body. Thanks. Junpei barely knew him, and the sight had been enough to make him sick. What Clover had felt, he couldn't begin to imagine. In the mental state she must have been in, it was understandable that she would look at those around her with suspicion. She felt everyone was against her. The least Junpei could have done was try to understand what she was feeling. He felt ashamed of what he said. Perhaps he thought, I should apologize. But before that apology could begin...
Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel that you can trust any of us.
Ace had beaten Junpei to the punch. As he spoke to Clover, his face was calm and friendly.
You have to understand. The more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did those horrible things to your brother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who would do such a horrible thing?
Clover didn't answer. She didn't even look at Ace. The whole time, her eyes were on Junpei. He could feel Clover's eyes boring into him. They were the color of a deep winter lake. Junpei saw no suspicion in them, only sadness. Oh, it's because we gave her the clover earlier. That she was like, oh, you betrayed me. Then in that horrible silence, they heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move now. 7. Clover, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
7 and Clover remained silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were
Our
going.
next destination is Mercury.
But maybe you and June should check it out first and then report back to us.
All right, let's go, June.
Right. Here it is.
It sat bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen between the 2 elevators.
The Mercury card reader.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
Yeah,
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
I think 7 said something like that. Anyway, let's see what happens.
I think he said something like that. Junpei slid the card through the reader. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
Jumpy, I know it's only the 2 of us, but let's do our best.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
You know it's just for searching E-Deck, right?
Even so, I'm glad I'm with you.
Oh,
First, we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Just like we did before.
they're cute.
Oh, here it is.
I knew it. It's not wet at all.
Let's go.
Yes.
Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator.
Look! Nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
We're on C deck right now, so the only one we can choose is bottom.
Bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's try it out.
There's a bottom joke here somewhere. Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly, they began to move downward.
Oh, so this is the bottom deck.
They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end.
Over there.
This is a numbered door.
This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase.
Yep.
They were doors 4 and 5. 3 more in the large hospital room, doors 3, 7, and 8.
Yep.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door Lotus and Santa found on A deck. It was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck.
Mm-hmm. Four, 5, 3, 7, 8, 6, 1, and now door 2 stood in front of Junpei.
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah,
You don't look very happy about it, though.
it's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's head back.
Okay.
He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June. Dot, 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 dot.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
The pieces of paper they had folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why had they decided to vote that way?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know. Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. It would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper. UN certified fair election?
Alright, let's open these up. The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. He opened the second
Next
one.
is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the third, fourth, and fifth pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
Lotus, that's mean.
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But,
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
That's mean too.
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
That's her. She's right. She's wearing clothing. That was her. Her problem was the exhibitionist part.
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
She's right.
Maybe. But what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
Wow. Raisin.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
Lotus's hair.
Not good.
Oh god. Lotus's hair flared out like the mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
Yes, they are.
Right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the sixth piece of paper.
June wants door 6.
He opened it.
I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All of the papers save Junpei's have been read. He did some quick calculations in his head.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
This was the door on A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
This is the door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
This is the door on E deck and could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase.
So the door I should choose is...
Wow, they really did this so. Because Ace and Clover is 5. And then you add Junpei, and that's 5 plus 1. Or 5 plus 5, which is 10, and then it's 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So that would. They really did this so Junpei could pick whichever one he wanted. It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through.
Which one do we want to go through? This one would be Ace and Clover. This one would be Seven and Lotus. And this one would be Santa and June. Should we stick with June or Clover? Maybe. This is a hard choice.
I want to go through door 6.
Junpei flipped open the piece of paper. It read Junpei, door 6. Of course it did. He'd written it after all.
That's a problem.
June spoke barely above a whisper, but they all knew what she'd
None of
said.
these teams will be able to go through the doors they want.
Clover and I chose door 1.
Lotus and I chose door 2.
That's not enough people to open a numbered door, however.
The digital routes don't match up either.
We've got similar problems. Junpei and I want to go through door 6, but our digital route is 5. If we're gonna open that door, we need a 1.
Damn, what are we gonna do now?
What are we going to do?
Junpei crossed his arms and did his best to put his thoughts in order. The others followed suit, but with little result. Eventually, Clover broke the silence.
Why don't Seven and Lotus go through door 1 with me?
Her face was cold and flat, as was her voice, but her logic was sound. 7 and Lotus looked at each other. 7 plus 8 plus 4 is 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. The first problem resolved. Ace spoke up.
What about me?
What about me?
Isn't that obvious? Wasn't one of the teams just complaining that they didn't have a 1?
You mean I should join Santa's team?
Yes.
Clover nodded, her face still cold and emotionless. Her attitude and posture could not have been more different than the energetic girl of only a few hours before. No one seemed ready to contradict her. Her response was understandable given the horrible situation in which she found herself, but even so.
I understand. I'll go through door 6 then. If we do as Clover has suggested, we can all pass through a numbered door and no one will be left behind. This seems to be the most reasonable solution.
3 plus 6 plus 5 plus 1 is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6.
7. Lotus, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
Me either.
All right then, we're good to go.
See you later.
Wait, Clover! Don't move on your own!
Oh, I'll be going too then.
Yeah, be careful.
We should get going as well.
Bye. Dot, 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 dot. At last, Junpei and the other 6 managed to separate themselves into 2 teams. Clover, 7, and Lotus headed to A deck where door 1 was, near the main staircase. Junpei, June, Ace, and Santa, however, took the elevator to E deck. The ride to E deck was a silent one.
This is E deck.
There should be a door at the end of the hall.
All right, let's go.
Santa's words jolted them to action, and they stepped out of the elevator into a long, straight hallway. Before long, they arrived in front of door 6.
There it is. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Then let's get to it.
One by one, they put their palms over the red. With a soft electronic noise, it authenticated each of them. The door opened, and all at once, the 4 of them leapt through it.
Hey, I found it. It's right there.
Fortunately, the dead was located easily enough. This one had been placed quite close to the door they'd entered through. They gathered around it quickly and hurriedly placed their palms on it for the authentication one by one.
It stopped.
Yes, it stopped.
The countdown had ceased, but Junpei's heart was still pounding in his chest like a frantic, thunderous drum. It felt as though it might shake itself up and out of his throat.
I don't believe I'll ever get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
He's not wrong. I mean...
Got that right. Once I'm out of this hellhole, I'm taking a nice long vacation.
I agree.
With that, the doom and gloom from before was done and the mood turned somewhat lighter.
All right, let's go.
With that attempt at good humor, Junpei took a deep breath and began to walk. He jogged down the stairs at the end of the hallway and found himself staring at a large door.
This door looks heavy.
But it's not locked. I'm opening it.
He took a hold of the bar that served as its doorknob and shoved it down. The room beyond stopped him in his tracks. It was gargantuan and made entirely of metal. None of the accents of wood or tile he'd seen in the rest of the ship. This room was purely functional, but utterly tremendous. Keep dropping my phone. I'm sorry.
Whoa, what the hell is this?
Santa got out a few words before awe stole the rest of them. The rest were too stunned to offer anything more than
This has to
gasps.
be the biggest room so far. The ceiling is pretty high, too.
Could be 2 stories, maybe even more.
This space could be utilizing the entire length of the ship.
Whoa.
What's that huge Kamaboko-looking building in the middle?
June pointed to the massive building in the
Kamaboko?
center.
Well, I guess that's as good of a description of it as any.
Junpei and the others were standing on the scaffolding that crisscrossed the whole area. The proper term was catwalk, Junpei thought, although that didn't seem particularly
I see
important.
stairs, so we may as well head over to them.
Yeah, but this section's barely wide enough to fit one person.
You're right.
Then go down one by one. Nearby was a long iron staircase that made its way eventually to the floor beneath them.
Whoa, you can't even tell the shape when you're this close.
Let's check out the other side, too.
They moved around towards the opposite side of the massive building, following the catwalk. They hadn't said much as they walked, but as they approached the building, Ace suddenly spoke up.
This looks to be the steam engine room.
The steam engine room?
Yes, that thing that looks like a cross-section of a mushroom is the boiler.
A cross section of a mushroom. Very descriptive.
You see the 3 round doors near the bottom? Coal is put into those and burned, which heats the water, producing steam. The same thing that drives a steam engine. This one is simply somewhat larger.
Somewhat.
I see.
It doesn't appear to be running right now.
The entire room was as silent as the grave.
All right, let's split up.
Then all of a sudden, Junpei heard a noise behind him. He turned just in time to see June collapse to her knees.
Hey, what's wrong? Are you all right?
He dashed towards her and wrapped his arm around her shoulders to steady her.
Hey, June.
It was then that he noticed.
You're really warm. Is your fever coming back?
Yes, it probably is. But I'm fine. Please, don't worry about me. I just need to rest. And I'll be fine.
Her voice was weak and forced, and it said a great deal more than her words did.
Okay, here, sit down. Careful.
Junpei carried her to the nearest wall and propped her up against it. She let her head fall back against the wall. She had no longer the strength, as if she no longer had the strength to support it, and drew a ragged breath.
Thank you.
Her eyes were empty, as if she was having trouble focusing them, and even speaking seemed difficult for her. Junpei felt his hand ball itself into a fist and clenched tight, his knuckles whitening. He had to find a way out, and quickly. He turned and looked at Ace and Santa in turn.
Ace, Santa.
Yes.
Right.
They might not have shared the depth of his emotion, but they certainly shared his concern.
Let's get started. Hang in there, June. I'm gonna get you out of here real soon.
She managed a small nod before leaning back to rest her head on the wall. Seek a way out. Okay. Let's see if I remember how to do this. A tunnel. It goes all the way across the ship. It's a square hole. Nothing in here. Look at the back wall there. I see 3 small slots. Terminals for some sort of connector, perhaps? You mean you think we're supposed to plug something in here? Perhaps. Okay. This pillar goes up towards the ceiling. Excuse me. And golden gear. It doesn't look like it was always golden like this. Then I imagine it was prepared especially for this game. I have a feeling it's important. It looks like there's a door over there in this tunnel. The belt over there must deliver the coal, which is then picked up and thrown into this door. The door appears to be wielded shut, however. A huge bronze gear. This has to be important. It's a silver gear. You think it's made of pure silver? No way. Silver's way too soft to be used for a gear. It's gotta be steel or iron gear that's been coated with silver. Should have called it a silver gear then. Oh. Thank you for following. Thank you for following, Spy. Shouldn't have got your hopes up. Were you thinking you'd haul this thing back? Nah, but I think 7 could probably carry it, don't you? Okay. Golden gear. I have a feeling it's important. Is it? Oh, it's just... Okay. There's a pair of wooden boxes here. There's nothing in them. Look, Ace. There's some kind of snowman secret meeting. Those are just bags full of sand. You use them as counterweight when you're lifting something with a pulley system. Man, you're too serious. What's this? Given its placement, this unlocked the door on the left. There's a weird indication on the top of this thing. You think that means you have to insert something in here? Yes, I would imagine so. You think this is... Yes, it looks like the exit. Looks like the door slides up to the ceiling. Okay. Oh man, Junpei, I can't believe I missed something so important. What's so important? Look at those stairs. Look at them carefully. That gap. That height. That angle. It's perfect. Perfect? Perfect for what? Whatever, just bring Clover here right now. Tell her she needs to walk up and down these stairs. Huh? Clover's not here. What the hell is he talking about? What is he talking about? Moves coal from place to place. It probably comes from over there, and the belt carries it down the tunnel and out here. So, if the conveyor belt was moving, yes, the coal would almost certainly come out here. Okay. There's a bunch of wooden boxes. I already looked through those. There's nothing there. Okay. A number of little windows along the side of this thing. I think you're supposed to put coal through these, but they're wielded shut. I don't think we can get these open. This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. It's important. Man, this thing is huge. I guess a ship this big needs something like that to power it. True, but not a single boiler this size could actually move a ship like this at any reasonable speed. You need at least 3, oh no, 4 of these. I guess you know a lot about boats, huh? Well, not really. It's just common sense, you know. No. Whatever you say. Hacker voice Simon. Hello, Nix. Good to see you. How was your day so far? Are you having lunch. Hey. This is the huge oven for the spoiler. There are 3 open areas in it. Each of the open areas has a gear in it. I finished coding the... Ooh. That sounds fancy. Good job. Nyx is really smart. Oh no. Pats you. I don't remember how to do this puzzle. I meant to... Oh, okay. The 3 sliders on the left are down, but this one is up. There are a number of lines engraved in these. I suspect we are meant to do something rather specific with them. Junpei, why don't you move the slider down? Well, there's no harm in trying, I suppose. Nothing. Nothing happened. Maybe it needs to be prepared somehow. You're saying if we did something somewhere else, it'd respond somehow? Yes, I suppose that's one way of putting it. You got this. You got this. Oh, and the slider's down. I feel like wants to give it a try. Nothing. It won't move at all. Okay. Oh, that's okay. Thank you for popping in for a little bit. Talk to you later. One of the doors on the furnace. There's an A on it. There's a circular wheel in the center of the door. Alright, let's give that sucker a twist. Well, it's noisy, but it opens, and it's totally pitch black in there. We should, go in here. Alright, let's go. This looks like just like the door we went into. Where are we? It must be on the other side, yes? Which would put us directly above the conveyor belt. At any rate, we should keep moving. There's a great deal we've yet to investigate. A whole bunch of boxes I can't get through. Well, anyway, that looks like that's the pipe. Looks like the bottom connects to the conveyor belt housing. And coal must come out of this pipe onto the conveyor belt. In other words, there must be a great deal of coal in that pipe. There are a number of boxes on the catwalk. I don't think we can go over there. It's a hand-operated winch. It's a simple machine used to lift things up and down. You simply turn the wheel to pull up the rope. Junpei, why don't you turn the wheel? The wheel? Alright, let's give this wheel a spin. Oh, what? That's weird. I don't feel any resistance. Gah! Ah, shit. Ah, the wheel came off. Good job, genius. You broke it. I didn't break it. It broke all by itself. It's a wheel that seems to be part of the winch. There's some pegs in the back that look like they go into the holes on the winch. Can you put back? A hand-operated winch. The wheel it once had is now in my hand. Let's see if I can get it back on. Oop. There's a couple of posts on the back of it that look like they fit into the holes on the winch. Damn, no good. These little shafts are too small for this big hole. It's like throwing a hot dog. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. What are these? What are these descriptions? I don't remember some of these. What is that description? If that's the case, then that wheel wasn't originally part of this winch. Then that means there's another one. One of the doors in the furnace, there's an A on it. Okay. Let's go through this one. Excuse me. The hand-operated winch, there's no wheel to turn. Oh yeah, I've got the wheel I pulled off the other winch, didn't I? Let's see if it fits. Sweet, it's a perfect fit. Like they were made for each other. Not shaky at all. Good, I should be able to turn this now. Good work, Junpei. We should haul up the wooden box now. You see, the wooden box? It's under the catwalk. Can you see it? It's hanging from the rope and the wrench, isn't it? Yeah, I know how this works. I know how a pulley system works, Ace. It looks like there's some sort of device in the box. Not sure what it is. At any rate, you might as well turn that wheel now. I'm counting on you. Alright, I'll turn the wheel. What's this? What happened? The wheel only turns to the left. It only turns to the left? That means we can't reel up that rope. Yeah. We can only let the rope down. Interesting. I don't think that will be a problem. We simply need to go downstairs after letting the wooden box down. I'll be counting on you, Junpei. Sure thing, no sweat. Dot 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 dot.
I believe the box has reached the floor.
Yeah.
He stuck his head out over the side of the catwalk and looked down. The box that had only recently hung just below the catwalk now sat on the floor. It had come to rest near the end of the tunnel that covered the conveyor belt.
Turns down over by there.
Junpei could see her still leaning against the wall as if she barely had the strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it was not difficult to see that she had not improved. He almost thought he could see heat rising from her body.
She doesn't seem to be improving.
Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he said what they had all been thinking.
Of course not. She's not going to just get better right away, you know. It'll take time.
He tried desperately to convince himself that what he had said was true.
What could be causing this, I wonder? Illness, perhaps?
Nah, it's gotta be exhaustion.
Santa's response was confident and certain.
She gets dropped into some weird-ass ship, forced to play some messed-up game. If you think about it, it's a lot weirder that we aren't freaking out just like her, you know?
So you're saying we're abnormal?
Yeah. We're just running around this room, solving all these puzzles like it's just business as usual. How the hell could you call that normal? We're just guinea pigs.
Santa snorted in disgust.
You mean like a lab rat? You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Is that what you're saying?
Dunno. But it does seem like a possibility, you know?
They stood there for a few more minutes, no one speaking until Santa turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him. Is there anything else over here? I don't think so. Okay. I just have to go downstairs. Oh, okay. Control panel for something. Some kind of machine. Maybe a control panel? Hey, here's the... Maybe this hole is where the control panel goes? There's only one way to find out. In you go. Dude, you did it. Everything looks alright. Okay, but what do we do now? Why don't you press the button next to it? The orange one? Yes. Alright, I'll do that. Pushing. Sweet, all sorts of lights are lighting up on this thing. And, oh yes, I think I heard something turn on. Oh? What's that? What happened? Junpei, look, the conveyor belt's moving. The conveyor belt? Well, I guess it's done moving now. There's still a bunch of coal on the belt, though. It looks like a bunch got dumped off at the end of the belt into the wooden box where we found the control panel. Cool. Cool, huh? Once the belt started moving, it's transported quite a bit of coal. It all drops off the end of the belt right into the wooden box. Box filled with coal. A wooden box full of coal. I guess there's really only one thing we can do with this stuff. Okay. This one massive... Alright. So this is where you put coal into the furnace? That's right. I had a look at it earlier, but it's rusted shut, I'm afraid. Perhaps you should check the other side? Oh, okay. Excuse me. There's a hole that'll let us put coal into the furnace. Maybe if we can get some coal in there, what did I say? It'll set fire. Okay, let's do it. Alright, that's the last of it. No coal left in the wooden box. And nothing. Great. Well, I guess I should have expected that. Why would just throwing coal into a cold furnace do anything? Well, a man can dream. Junpei, explain it to me again. You're planning to stoke the furnace with coal, which will heat the water stored up in there and make steam, which will then drive something else. Am I correct? In other words, you want to generate enough pressure with the steam to power the turbine and drive the steam engine, right? Yeah, I guess that's the gist of it. Well, in that case, this isn't enough coal. The furnace is enormous, so we're going to need a hell of a lot more. We're going to need a whole hell lot of more coal than this. Very well then, the three of us work together, we should manage to fill it much faster. I want to help too. Man, I totally didn't even see her walk up. Are you feeling up to that? Yes. Yeah, right. You look like you're about one stiff breeze away from falling over, June. I think you'd better rest some more, alright? But no arguing. You need your rest, so you just stay there. We'll handle this. Okay. I understand. Alright, time for some manly work. Let's get this coal into those furnaces. Man, this is a lot of work. Alright, I think this should be sufficient. Alright, now we just gotta light it. Junpei, hand me your matches. What makes you think I have matches? I see. How are you going to light it? Perhaps there's a device nearby that will allow us to remotely ignite the coal. Let's take a look, shall we? Okay, sorry. Some sort of ignition device, huh? I can figure out how to light this thing. Junpei, have you thought about looking on the other side? You're right. I should take a look over there. Um... This is the huge oven for this boiler. I don't see anything on this side that might ignite this thing. Huge golden gear. It's important. How are we supposed to get the thing that we dropped down? Oh, that was the box over here. I'm dumb. With the device in it. Okay. Okay. Is it upstairs? Oh, is it this? Oh, the lights are all on now. Is this... I think it might be. It probably is. I think this is how we ignite in the furnace. That means if we move that thing down... Alright, let's do it. Here we go. Hey, Junpei. Ace, look at this. There's big gears turning under the boiler here. Ooh. The gears, they're spinning. What the hell are you guys waiting for? Let's start looking. Gold disc. Bronze disc. Silver disc. The bronze disc has a bunch of lines on it in 3 different colors, red, blue, and black. The silver disc has a bunch of lines on it, but the red ones really stand out, right? The red ones, huh? The gold disc, it has a number of lines engraved on it. I can make out 3 colors here, red, blue, and black. I wonder what they mean. Alright, we have those. Nope, nope. Okay, we can go this way. It looks like this thing unlocks the door. There's a depression here that looks like it's the outline of 3 circles laid on top of each other in a triangle. Maybe if we put these 3 discs we found into this thing. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's stick them in. Huh? That's odd. Nothing's happening. Maybe you're, I don't know, putting them in the wrong places? Perhaps you have them facing in the wrong directions. Perhaps you should rotate the discs to make some of the lines connect to one another. Well, there's no harm in trying. Instructions for operation. When the disc is clicked, it will rotate a certain amount. When the right arrow is clicked, the discs are switched. Please note when the discs are switched, the angles for the discs are reset. Great. Okay. I have to switch these 2 and these 2. Right? Looks like it. Yeah. The red lines on these discs, I think maybe they make a star polygon with these. You found it! Yay!
Yes, the door's open.
Given the circumstances, Junpei's happiness was certainly understandable. Ace seemed to share his
All
excitement.
right, Junpei. Why don't you go get June now? Santa and I will keep an eye on the store.
Santa snorted.
Why do we need to do that? Even if it shuts, we know how to solve the puzzle now. We could just open it again.
Well, I suppose that's true. Shall all three of us go and collect June then?
Nah, I'm cool. I'll let Junpei handle it.
He still seemed irritated by something, however, and sat down on the stairs petulantly.
So are you only interested in being contrary?
Ace sighed with the air of a long-suffering parent.
All right, I'll go get June. I'll be right back.
He gave a quick nod to Ace and Santa and dashed off down the stairs. Before long, he was back on the first floor next to the conveyor belt and June.
Oh, Jumpy.
As he drew closer, she stood up slowly.
Are you okay?
He did his best to sound calm and nonchalant, but there was no hiding the genuine concern in his voice.
Yes, I'm fine now. I'm sorry I made you worry.
June blushed. He wasn't sure if she was embarrassed or still feverish.
Let me check.
Just to make sure, he reached out and put his hand against her forehead.
Good. You're feeling a lot better.
She was feeling far less warm than she had earlier, but she still wasn't down to what seemed
Are you
normal
sure
to
you're
him.
all right?
He had to be sure. June gave him a look.
Oh, you're such a warrior, Jumpy. Oops, I mean, warrior.
She said the wrong word. June giggled. He wasn't sure if she just made a joke or not, but seeing her smile again made Junpei feel at ease. If she was well enough to smile and laugh, then she really was feeling much better. He gave her a friendly poke on the forehead.
All right, let's go.
Go where?
Oh, right. I didn't tell you. We got the exit open, so...
Great, let's go.
June clasped her hands and nodded urgently. They headed back to the exit, but on their way they found...
Oh, it's...
Santa?
Santa was sitting on the stairs. He was, however, holding something in his right hand and staring at it with a strange expression. Junpei and June slowed down and finally stopped in front of him.
What are you looking at?
Santa answered without looking up, his voice quiet.
It's a photo. It's my sister.
Sister? Santa, you've got a sister?
Santa simply nodded.
Yeah. Kid was cute as a button.
June cocked her head, confused.
She was only about an inch tall then?
Santa glared at her.
Sorry. I guess an inch is a little large for a button. Probably more like a half inch.
June. Santa didn't smile or laugh.
Sorry.
Why are you looking at it?
He simply turned her back to his picture and spoke.
I was her Santa Claus.
Wait, what?
This sudden revelation took Junpei by surprise. He had no idea what Santa meant. He glanced at June, who shook her head. She didn't know
Have you
either.
ever heard the story of the two Santa Clauses? It goes that a long time ago, there were two Santas. One of them wore white, and the other one wore black.
Huh?
The white Santa gave presents to good kids, and the black Santa played tricks on bad kids.
What?
They went on like that for a while, but eventually the Black Santa's tricks started to get worse and worse. Pretty soon, the White Santa couldn't stand it anymore, and he stabbed the Black Santa to death.
Oh, okay. All right.
When he stabbed the other Santa, the White Santa got blood all over his clothes.
Oh.
And that's why, these days, his clothes are red.
Oh.
You could say that red is all that's left of the Black Santa.
Well, they made Santa terrifying now. Thanks, game. Junpei was silent. He could think of nothing to say. June was staring at Santa, sadness plain on her face. He continued.
I wonder which Santa I am.
Oh, no.
The White Santa or the Black Santa?
Oh.
All right, let's go.
Santa stood up suddenly, his downcast demeanor gone. He shoved the picture back in his pocket and headed back up the stairs, taking them two at a time. Thanks for doing that. Junpei and June looked at one another. There's nothing they could think of to say.
What are you two doing? Let's get moving, come on!
Santa's voice echoed across the room from above them.
Let's go.
Yeah.
They nodded and followed him quickly up the stairs. Ace was waiting for them at the top. He was leaning against the handrail. He looked very tired.
Oh, you're finally back.
The door had shut, but it wasn't cause for concern.
Sorry we took so long.
Junpei quickly solved the disc puzzle a second time, and the door opened once again.
Let's go.
Let's go. In single file, they walked through. After walking for nearly 15 feet, they found themselves in front of a metal door. It opened easily enough, and they passed through it as well. A new room stretched out before them.
Is this a warehouse?
No, I believe this is the cargo room. This must be where they store all of this vessel's freight.
There are wooden crates everywhere. I wonder how old they are.
Junpei, Ace, and June had stopped unconsciously, pausing to take in their new surroundings. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Santa's voice broke through their momentary trance.
Well, we probably ought to start with finding the exit, right? Let's get going.
Boom, boom, boom. Seek a way out. Oh, wait. Is that the coffin? No, it shows up later, doesn't it? This is the only area with a fence around it. Junpei, think you can go take a look at that? Sorry, but no thanks. Why? I've, got a bad feeling about it. Pussy. Okay, fine. I'll go. Please be careful, Santa. Yeah, but just in case. Wait, what's he going to do with that screw? I don't see what he's throwing a screw at a fence is. Holy shit! Oh, this. Oh man, there's electricity running through that fence. Looks like it. Then we can't get to the other side. Well, we could jump off those crates, but we wouldn't be able to get back. Mm. Jumpy, look at that crate over there. There's something on it, isn't there? Yeah, it looks like a coffin. A coffin? Yeah, it seems kind of weird to find a coffin here, right? It's as if telling us to search here. That's nothing. Over the fence by jumping on those crates. What are you saying, Jumpy? There's a huge electrical current flowing through that fence. If you do that, you won't be able to get back. Well, if I can move some of those crates over there. Are you even sure you can move them? What if they weigh too much? Then what are you going to do? Oh, yeah, I haven't thought of that. There are a bunch of bags here. I wonder what's in them. That's the ninth man. I moved it. Now I'll go back to normal. There we go. A card with the nice ninth man's face printed on it. What's that? It's a card. It has a headshot on it. A headshot? Yeah, I'm not really sure what the purpose this could possibly serve. There's nothing in the bag anymore. These crates are a little smaller than the others. They look like they're children of the other crates. Junpei, that sounds like some sort of fairy tale. Really? I don't know, man. You ever think about how crates would reproduce? No, I never thought about that. Doesn't sound like a fairy tale to me. Okay. These crates are quite large. They seem to be tied to one another by sturdy straps. Okay, oh, no. A card with Ace's face printed on it. I don't know what's in these barrels. Judging by their weight, perhaps a liquid of some sort. Oh. A card with Snake's face printed on it. This is Clover's card. You know, looking at this photo, she's kind of cute, isn't she? Huh? What's up? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Why does her smile make me feel cold? It's Ace's card. He looks some kind of European lord. Oh, my headshot. You want to see it? It's actually a pretty good picture. No, I don't need to see it. In fact, we really ought to get back to our search. Snake. Is that Snake's card? Yeah, you want to see it? No, that's fine. This card has the ninth man on it. He's the first victim of this Narration game. Actually, come to think of it, he was acting pretty weird. I wonder what his deal was. Okay. This is Seven's card. If this is supposed to be a trading card, it's not a very good one. Trading cards. We've searched all the boxes. There's nothing in them. It's locked. We need the key. All the boxes have numbers on them. Did they... Oh? Ace bent down and picked something that had been sitting next to the box. Junpei, take a look at this. Cards. There's a picture of Lotus on this card. Man, her hair is ridiculous. It's like clay or something. She says the pot to the kettle. Clay? There's some number boxes and cards with pictures of all of us. Does that mean we need to collect the cards we don't have? Okay. So we have 6. We need 3 more. Not cool, man. You took this picture without my permission. It looks pretty cool, though. You look really handsome in this picture. Does he? Does he? He looks a little weird. Hey, knock it off, lovebirds. What? We're not a couple, not at all, not in any way. Dot, dot, dot. There's a pretty cool looking dude on this card. I can't take my eyes off of it. This must be... Oh no! Don't look at it. I'm not cute at all, and I'm not photogenic, and I don't look sexy either. Next to Clover, my skin looks gross. And I'm not sexy like Lotus. I know guys go for women who look like Lotus, but I'm trying to. I'm doing the best I can. So please don't call me a board or a trash can or a cutting board. Wait a minute. I haven't said anything like that. Have I? This card has a picture of June on it. Okay. I need one more. There's some sort of liquid in these barrels. So, yeah, it cracks me up too. That's why I like doing that. I'm not sure what it is, however. No. A box, there's nothing inside. Did we look at this one? Oh, there's Santa. Man, the guy in this card is one good-looking son of a bitch. Way more class than that other chump. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Huh? What's your problem? Didn't say I meant you, did I? Shit. Card with Santa's face on it. That's it. I need one that says it's PSA 10 rare holo card.
Now we finally have all 9 picture cards. We just need to insert these cards into the slots at the front of each box.
Junpei, hold this L. Junpei stared at the cards in his hands. Ace peered over his shoulder at them.
You know which card goes in which box, yes?
Junpei gave him a look.
Yeah, of course I do. It's really obvious. You just match our numbers to the numbers, then you pop the corresponding card in the right box. So for instance, the card with the picture of Ace on it goes into box 1. The card with the picture of Snake on it goes into box 2, and so on.
Oh, I see.
Huh? What is it?
Junpei thought he might have imagined it, but he could have sworn Ace stiffened.
I'll leave the rest to you.
Hey, wait!
He quickly turned and walked away.
What's wrong with him? Oh well, whatever.
Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back towards the boxes.
The 9 boxes puzzle.
9 cards with pictures and 9 boxes. Junpei stared at them for a moment and then began.
Ace's card is in box 1, Snake's is in number 2. I just need to do the same for the rest. And finally, the 9th man's card into box 9.
All 9 box lids popped open at once.
Oh, they opened!
Yeah, He peered inside. In each box was a single pin.
9 pins?
They looked a little like sewing pins, but much thicker.
I guess I'll take them with me.
Junpei collected them all quickly and shoved them into his pocket. These look like the kind of pins you use for sewing. There are 9 of them in total, and they have numbers on them that run from 1 to 9. These stairs, they go up 3 stories. What are you waiting for, Junpei? Whatever, I'm going. This is the only door here, except for the one we just came through. Then this is the exit. No shit, Sherlock. Of course it's locked. Is it an electronic lock? No, it's a keyhole right under the doorknob. So to open this door, we've got to find the key that fits that keyhole. Yeah. Okay. And some sort of boxy device. The monitor's off. We've got a green switch here, a red one, and some sort of lever. None of them seem to do anything, though. Maybe the power's off? Yeah, maybe. There's a single green light on the bottom, though. That means there's several lights here with numbers from 1 to 9. And the only the light with a 9 is lit. There's 6 holes here. It looks like the pins I just found would be a perfect fit for them. The ones you found in the 9 boxes, right? Well, why don't you try it? Alright, let's see what happens. I think 2, 4, and 6 should go in here in the top part, and 3, 5, 7 in the bottom part. Well, some of them lit up. Yeah, 3 and 6. I wonder if there's some kind of rule that determines which lights go on. Well, I put 2, 4, and 6 in pins in the top part, and 3, 5, and 7 pins in the bottom. You think maybe it's the digital root? The digital root? 2 plus 4 plus 6 is 12. The digital root of 12 is 3. Therefore, light 3 turns on. 3 plus 5 plus 7 is 15. The digital root of 15 is 6. Therefore, light 6 turns on. Makes sense, right? Let's see. The lights that match the digital root of the pins inserted on the top and lower parts will light up. So that's how it works. Well, there's one other thing I'd like to check. Well, if he wants to try, I'm certainly welcome to. So you put in the 1, 2, and 3 pins on top and 6, 7, 8 pins on the bottom. Oh, they turned off. 6 plus 7 plus 8 is 21. The digital root of 21 is 3. Therefore, light 3 turns off. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. The digital root of 6 is 6. Therefore, the light 6 turns off. Oh, I get it now. If the digital root for the pins you insert is the same as the digital numbers on the lights that are lit, those lights turn off. Sorry. Yeah, looks like that's the trick. Give me that. Alright, now we know how it works. You want to give it a try? Wait, you mean you know what we're supposed to do with this? Well, the lights? Well, no, but I figured we could try and see if we could turn them all on, you know? Figure something's got to happen if we can manage that. Turn on the lights. Okay, Junpei, let's make sure we know how this works, alright? Pick one of the 6 holes. And pick one of the pins in your hand and insert it into the hole. Keep it up until all 6 holes are filled. Once all the holes are filled, the lights with the numbers that correspond to the digital roots of the pins in the upper and lower parts will turn on. However, if a digital root corresponds to a light that is already on, the light will be turned off. The goal is to turn all the lights on. Alright, let's do it. Okay, Okay. So we need 3, 5, 7, and 8. 17. This is 15. Okay. 1 plus 7 is 8, so that's 8. Um, 12. Okay, 5 and 7. Um, hmm. Okay. 7. Yay! I figured it out. F. All the lights are on and the shutters opened up. Hey, does this mean... Yeah, we gotta do it again. Man, and I thought I was doing so well. Okay, so we've got 9 holes, and there's an F above them. I don't know what the F means, but I do know one thing. What's that? This time there are 9 holes, so we need to insert 9 pins. Man, that's boring. Well, why don't we just try it, alright? Because I think, is F 15? Nine, A, B, C, D, E, F. 1. No, F is 16. Is F 16? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, no, it is 15. Yeah, it's 15. So do you have to do... Do you have to make them all 15? I think you have to make them all 15. Right? No, give me that back. That's 15. Yeah. Oh my god, do you have to make... Oh... You have to make everything 15. Oh my god, okay. Oh god, okay, this is gonna be hard. Um, yeah, I think that's what it is too. Okay, let's, because they're all connected, it looks like. Um, oh, that's easy. Oh, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ah, crap. This isn't right. This one isn't right. Oh, wait, 11. Okay. This is gonna be hard. don't think 8 is supposed to be in that middle spot. Because that'd be 16. Oh, wait. And then this, okay. This is hard. Yeah. Let me see. This one is less and this one is more. let's try. Sorry, it's taking a while. Let's try to. I don't. I don't remember how to do this. And I feel bad if I looked it up. um. Six. Okay. Damn it. What's wrong? Oh, this one's wrong. And this one's wrong. Because this only makes 6, and this one makes 9. Well, the digital route would be 9. This would make 15, 18. So should I? But if I move any other ones, it will. The others ones won't be correct. So if I move this 6 here, that'd be 19. But the 9 here, that'd be way more than what I need. And then I wouldn't have... I'd only have 7 here. I'd feel bad if I looked it up, though. If we didn't need the cross ones, I would have gotten it. Uh, okay. Oof. That took forever. I'm so sorry. I I, I looked part of it up. If in case you were wondering, I did look part of it up. I'm very sorry. There we go. All the lights are lit. We did it. The power's on now. I didn't want to sit here for longer. I'm so sorry. It looks like there's electricity going to the monitor on top now. Alright, let's see if we can activate the device on top. A green button, a red button, and a lever. I wonder what these do. I think this might help. What the hell is this? Where did you find this? What is that? Where did you find it? I found it when you were messing around with the pinholes. It looks like instructions for this thing. According to what it says here, this thing's a remote control for that. That? Yeah, that. It looks. What's he pointing? Oh, that machine over there. Apparently, it's the Pushmaster 5000. Are you serious? Whatever. So, what are we supposed to do with the Pushmaster 5000? You see the coffin over on top of the crates? Yeah. Don't you want to know what the deal is with it? I do. You want to check it out? Yeah. All right. How do you think we're going to get there? Well, there's some crates on the right side of the fence that some piled up like stairs. Maybe we make a path to the coffin from there. How would we do that? Line up the crates, I guess? Yeah, that sounds right. About right. I guess this is just another one of Zero's puzzles. Yeah. Anyway, let's give it a shot. Oh, looks like the Pushmaster 5000 runs off a battery. So, to keep it from using up its energy too fast, it's been programmed so it'll only start moving once its path has been completely programmed in. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. New material has been added to the file screen. Should we read that? Instructions for a machine called the Pushmaster 5000. Santa found them in the cargo room. In order to prolong battery life, it is advised that you first simulate your actions before carrying them out. Pull the lever to begin the simulation. Cannot lift heavy objects. You can move in 4 directions. You cannot move diagonally. If the Pushmaster 5000's move at count exceeds the battery life, it will be reset. Okay. Reset is green, back is red, and lever is start command. Oops, sorry. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. The monitor shows a top-down view of the area where we can move the machine. Once I want to send my orders to the Pushmaster 5000, I just pull the lever. Alright, let's give this a try. Sure thing. Just keep in mind that there's a limit on the battery, alright? The battery dies after 50 moves. At least that's what it says in the manual. 50 moves. So keep in mind that Pushmaster 5000 can't be moved. Can't move the heavy metal crates, okay? Got it. Instructions for operation. When the square adjacent to the Pushmaster 5000 is clicked, the Pushmaster 5000 will move to that square. If there's a crate in the way, the Pushmaster 5000 will push up to a single crate. Move the crates appropriately and efficiently, and fill in the yellow areas. Okay. Reset. I no. 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 I almost got it, I think. Shit. Nope. Frick. Nope. Yeah, I wasted too many moves. Okay. Okay. Ah. Okay. I wanted to get at least an ending done. I'm getting close though, I think. Maybe I should. Oh, maybe I should have went. The other way. No. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I'm. Up, right. Up, right, right. Down, right. Down, down, down. Left, left, up. Right, down. Right, up. left, down. Left, up. Left, up, up. Right. Right, right. Down, down. Left, down, right. Up, up. Up, left. Left, down. Left, down. Woo! Okay, I had to look down up too. Ah, I feel bad. But I want to get at least one ending. I think I only have enough time for one ending because I have to end in like an hour or so. So maybe we can at least start the next part and get through the beginning again. What do I do next? Just be quiet and watch. See, it's moving already. Awesome. The Pushmaster 5000 did just what I told it to and lined up all the crates. Great, now we can reach the coffin. We just need to climb those crates over by the fence.
Mummy!
Oh,
Just kidding.
Really?
Whatever. Just open it.
Okay, okay.
A small key and a gun?
Yeah, a revolver.
it looks pretty old.
I wonder if this is a replica.
This thing is. Are these real bullets?
They walked slowly past the row of crates until they came to the coffin. They stopped and nodded when it put hands on the lid of the coffin. He smirked heartily at his own joke. Okay. Junpei resisted the urge to remind Santa that he would have had it open a long time ago if Santa hadn't interrupted, and quickly threw off the lid of the coffin. They peered inside. Contrary to what they had expected, the inside of the coffin was quite large. It was mostly empty, if not completely so. Laying on the bottom was a rusty key, and next to the key, a gun. Junpei reached down slowly and cautiously picked up the revolver. In his hand, it felt heavy. He checked the cylinder. There were 6 bullets. The barrel was rifled, and nothing seemed to be blocking it. As Ace said, the gun was a very old one. Excuse me. Oh, however, it appeared to have been well maintained. If it was a real gun, Junpei thought it would most likely function perfectly. If it was real.
If this is real?
Holding the gun made Junpei feel unpleasant. Carefully, he placed it back in the coffin.
You're not gonna take it?
Of course not. All something like this is gonna do is cause more trouble. It's a powerful weapon that gives one person a huge advantage. Something like that would be way too dangerous to have around. We're in enough danger already.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Maybe Zero put this gun here, hoping that something like that might happen. In other words, maybe he put it here to make us fight each other.
In that case, we should most certainly leave it here. I, for one, have no desire to let Zero control me.
Me neither.
The others nodded. They had no desire to be under Zero's control either.
Okay, we've got that figured out. But you aren't gonna leave that key in there, are you?
Of course not. We'll take that with us.
Junpei picked up the rusty key and slid the top of the coffin back into place, the gun back where they had found it. Key. A rusty key. Maybe I can use this. There's a revolver in this coffin. What was this thing for? Jumpy? I know. I'll be there in just a minute. Now we can go. Let's just put the key in here and... Yes! Sounds like that did it. Yay! Looks like it's open, Jumpy. I see. The key should open this door. Hey, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Yes! It's opening. You found it! The hallway that left the cargo room headed straight towards the stern.
A long hallway, huh?
Let's check it out.
Junpei and the other three proceeded down it silently. Some distance along it, a large room opened up on the left-hand side. It looked familiar. An iron grate covered each of the elevators. Junpei and his companions drew to a stop and began to discuss what their next move should be.
We've seen this elevator before.
We got off the one on the left just a little while ago.
Then we went through the number 6 door, and that took us to the engine room.
Yes, and after that we passed through the cargo room.
And now we're back here.
Thank you, Captain Obviouses.
In other words, we made a loop.
Captain
We're back where we started.
Junpei approached the elevator.
We needed a card to get to this point.
I don't see a card reader here.
Perhaps we aren't able to activate it from this location.
Why don't you just try pushing the button?
Yeah.
Gently, he pushed the triangular button on the wall. The triangular button. A moment passed. Ooh. Opened. Dot, 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 dot,
It
dot.
works.
The elevator door opened and then eventually shut again.
I think so.
Pushing the button had apparently restored the power to the elevator.
Good. Now we can go back if we need to.
What do we do? Should we return to C deck?
No, this hallway keeps going. Even if we do end up going back, I think we should see what's down there first.
I agree. Let's go.
Their decision made, Junpei and his companions left the elevators behind and continued down the hallway. Sometime later,
Looks like it ends here.
Santa, who had been walking several paces in front of the rest, suddenly stopped.
Only one door.
They searched around just in
There
case.
isn't anything else. It's the only way to go.
It was a door or nothing.
All right, let's open it.
Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, then grabbed the doorknob and pulled the door open. He paused for a moment, then stepped through into the room. And there, he saw the number that had hung over their heads since they had broken up. 9.
The 9 door.
Like the numbers on every other door, this one too was a rough shape made of red paint. Its door was set to the black... Its door was set into the back wall of the room. Junpei leapt toward it with a sudden burst of hopeful energy. It was a large door, heavy and full of solemn importance. He grabbed the door handle and shook.
Of course it wouldn't be that easy.
And there's red right here. Dummy. The red sat on the wall next to the door. Displayed on it,
We finally found it.
Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotion. At last they found the exit, but cold gripped his heart, and he knew all too well why. As he stood frozen, unsure of what to think or feel,
Jumpy!
Huh?
Look! Behind you!
he spun around and couldn't believe what he saw.
What? A 9-door. There's another one. Why?
Junpei's voice was barely audible, even to himself. He stumbled towards the second door as if somehow compelled. It was a small single door. It sat in the starboard corner of the room, on the same wall as the door they entered from, but in the opposite corner.
9, no matter how you look at it. The red is there too. So this is a real one?
Junpei shook the door handle pointlessly and muttered to himself.
Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Santa who answered.
There were always 2 doors. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Of course, we just assumed that there was only one. After all, why would there be more than one?
Oh, man. We fell for it. There are 2 doors. That means that all 9 people who had met at the central staircase could escape. No one would be left behind. Now it makes sense why the bracelets are numbers. 1 through 9.
Our numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Divided into teams of 4 and 5 people. The digital root of both teams ends up being 9. Take 1, 2, 7, 8, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, for example. The digital root for both teams would be 9. Or 2, 3, 4, 9, and 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. The digital root is still 9. There are a bunch of combinations that work, and they all end up the same way. If one team has the digital root of 9, so would the other one. What does that mean? The answer's simple. From the very beginning, the No Memory game was designed to save all 9 people. That's how it was meant to be. Zero didn't lie. He never said there'd be only one 9-door, but anyone who'd found themselves in the game would have assumed that was the case. Fights would have broken out. One team would likely betray or deceive the other. Someone might be hurt. Someone might get killed. But eventually, they'd reach this very same room and realize how pointless all their infighting was. There were 2 doors. There was no need to kill each other.
They'd understand and be appalled, overwhelmed with guilt at what they've done.
This game was designed for that purpose. This no-nary game. We were all arguing and fighting over doors at the beginning. But if there had been one slip-up, one tiny mistake that led to more, everything could have been so much worse now.
Yep. The thought of it sent a chill down his spine.
So, what are we going to do, Junpei?
A voice broke through Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice.
Oh, right.
Hey, keep it together, man.
Sorry.
Jeez. So what do we do?
What do you...
We need to think about our next step.
Our numbers are 1, 3, 5, and 6. That's a digital root of 6.
The 4 of us can't open the number 9 door.
The 4? Wait. Don't tell me.
Yep. There's one combination that'll let 3 of us open the 9 door. That's why I'm asking, what now?
What now?
It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There's only the one combination of 3 people that would give a digital root of 9. 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9. That would mean...
No, we gotta go back.
That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed.
I agree. We cannot leave June behind.
Junpei let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding.
Are you sure? I don't mind staying.
No. June's body betrayed her true feelings. Her eyes were wet with the beginnings of tears, and her
It's
legs
okay.
shook.
There's no way we'd leave you behind.
Santa had said what Junpei had known the moment he realized which three people could go through the door.
Besides, I'd rather drown at the bottom of the ocean than escape with this sausage fest.
Junpei, please.
Maybe I'll get to go to Atlanta.
Junpei.
Are you sure you don't mean Atlantis?
Maybe I'll get to go to Atlanta. Oh.
Huh? Oh, right.
Perhaps it was the sudden reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind. But Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. Santa and Ace smiled.
You guys.
June blinked tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to
Very
say.
well. Best we head back to C deck then. We should be able to take the elevator we passed earlier. Perhaps Clover, Seven, and Lotus will have returned from door 1.
Even as Ace spoke, they knew finding the others wouldn't improve the
Even
situation.
with all 7 of us.
Ace knew it. They all knew it.
Standing around here isn't going to accomplish anything, don't you agree? Let's find the other 3 first, and then search for another solution.
I guess you're right.
All right, let's go.
Ace looked at all 3 of them, then turned and headed through the door.
Okay.
Santa and June followed.
Huh.
Junpei started towards the door, then stopped.
Come to think of it, what is this room?
It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly
We were
was
so
it?
focused on the doors, we didn't even look around.
A red carpet ran between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room.
It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony, but what kind?
Facing the 9 door was the carpet leading to the bow of the ship, and at the end, was it an altar, perhaps? There was a small rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform. And resting on top of the platform was a coffin.
A coffin? What on earth is a coffin doing in a place like this?
But before Junpei had time to answer that question,
Hey, Junpei, the hell are you doing? Let's move.
Santa's voice echoed from the hall outside.
Okay, I'll be right there.
Junpei turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room. Dot, 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 dot. They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed back towards the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them
Look,
long.
it's Seven and Lotus.
They didn't look happy.
We've got a problem.
Clover is gone.
Huh?
What?
Sorry. Junpei and his 3 companions looked at one another. He turned back to Seven and Lotus.
What do you mean, gone?
Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask.
When?
Why?
You 2 went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you?
Seven and Lotus responded as best they could.
Yeah, we went through the door together.
But Clover barely spoke to us.
She just did her own thing the whole time.
There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1.
She wouldn't let us into the 4th room.
She just said, I'll take care of this one.
And shut the door.
She must have blocked it with something on the other side.
We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out.
We called for her, but she didn't answer.
So I kicked down the door and we went into the room.
But
It was empty.
Clover wasn't there.
There was a door on the other wall.
And it was open.
We figure she opened the door and left by herself.
We ran after her, of course, but
Well, obviously we didn't find her. We figured that much out.
Clover's gone.
Junpei thought for a
When did this
moment.
happen?
We got here just before you.
You certainly have excellent timing.
So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase?
No, we haven't.
Finally, Ace spoke. His voice had an edge of resolve and
Very well.
concern.
We'd best separate and look for Clover. We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
Yeah.
There were quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. Junpei and June ran to the central hospital room and looked
She's not
around.
here.
No, she isn't.
They searched a little longer, but with no luck. They couldn't find Clover.
No sign of her. Let's go.
Finally, they gave up and left the central hospital room. Slowly, they made their way back to the hallway. At last, they reached the stairs, and Junpei
Alright,
spoke.
I'm thinking we should probably split up. I'll head back to the stairs and take the elevator down to E deck. June, you can take the stairs up to B deck.
All right, that sounds good. But,
What?
could you stop calling me by that code name when we're alone?
Huh? Oh, sure, right. I'll do that.
Cute. There's a reason Junpei persisted in calling her June even when they were alone, although perhaps not the best reason. He was embarrassed to call her by the nickname he used when they were children, Canny. Oh. 9 years ago, it came naturally. After all, they were children, but now that they were adults, it felt strange, regardless of what he might hope for. To call a woman he wasn't dating by such a childish nickname felt odd to him. Of course, to call her Miss Kurashiki would be even more awkward, and simply Kurashiki would seem a little brusque. And although he couldn't quite put his finger on why it felt somewhat forward to call her Akane when they hadn't seen each other for so long. In short, it was simply easier for him to call her June and leave it at that.
Jumpy.
Oh, no, it's nothing.
All right, I'm going then.
Yeah, be careful, Kane.
June, or perhaps more appropriately, Connie, blushed and smiled. Aww.
You be careful too, Jumpy.
Yeah, got it. Take care.
Connie-chan. Junpei looked after her for a moment as she ran up the stairs and turned around and took off for the hallway. Words. Tragedy always strikes when one least expects it. But to wait for a man to stand before striking him down seems almost crueler than dealing the fatal blow while he lies on the ground. A light and dark place, June's smile had given him hope, both for escape and possibly for something else. It was that hope that raised his spirits just enough that they might soon be fully dashed. He opened the elevator door, and there she was. A woman sat slouched against the wall. Lotus. Junpei felt his blood turn to ice. Her body was limp, and her skin, smooth and pale as always, was covered in bright red blood. Junpei felt his chest constrict. He couldn't breathe, and his legs began to shake. A slow, cold drop of sweat trickled down his back. He felt his stomach somersault. Junpei's mind went blank, all his thoughts replaced with an endless hissing white. Driven by little more than instinct, he began to walk towards Lotus slowly. Each slow movement of his stiff limbs brought him closer to her corpse. Finally, he stood next to her. Robotically, he bent down and put his hand against her neck. There was no pulse, no rise and fall of breathing. She was slightly warm. Something somewhere in Junpei's shaken mind told him that she had been killed recently. Yeah, Junpei thought, his mind slowly returning. She had been killed. Someone had killed her. There was a deep cut on the left side of her chest. Blood still oozed from it, though clearly her heart had stopped beating some time ago. The weapon had been a knife, then? Perhaps she had been stabbed in the heart once. She would have died immediately. He took a little comfort from knowing she must have suffered very little. Only then did Junpei notice Lotus's bracelet was gone.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only two ways to do so. One, you escape from this ship. Two, your heart rate reaches zero. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or the backside of the wearer's heartbeat has fallen to zero, it will shut down automatically.
Was that why the killer had ended Lotus's life? So that they might have the number 8 bracelet? If that was true, then the killer was whoever wanted the number 8 bracelet. Or perhaps, more accurately, the person who had gained the most by obtaining the bracelet number 8. Who is that? Who would benefit the most from the number 8 bracelet? The thought had only just entered Junpei's mind when he heard a noise. A sound like a sharp knife cutting through wet meat. Ugh. It struck him as strange that the noise came from inside his own body. A moment later, the pain hit him. It wasn't merely pain, there was heat, extreme heat as well. He felt as though molten iron had been splashed against the side of his body. Finally, his brain made the connection. He'd been stabbed. But where? His body was quickly going numb. He couldn't tell where the knife had met his flesh. And given the circumstances, however, he had most likely been stabbed in the back. Whoever had killed Lotus had now done the same to Junpei as well. His voice was a little more than a weak groan. With what little strength he had left, Junpei turned his body, trying to catch a glimpse of his attacker. But as he did, the knife dug itself in deeper, twisting viciously. He collapsed to the floor, a puppet with his strings cut. His arms and legs lay where they fell, oddly twisted and awkwardly positioned. Junpei's body was entirely numb. He could feel the blood leaking out of him, but nothing would move. Nothing, save his eyes. As he lay on the floor, his life ebbing away, Junpei finally saw his attacker. 2 tiny images of the killer reflected in his eyes. With that recognition came nothing. He felt no emotions, not anger or sadness, not regret. The paralysis that had claimed his body had reached his mind. His killer glanced down at his body. Then, without a word, climbed into the elevator and was gone. His eyesight began to fade. The world grew blurry and began to dissolve into an empty white fog. The fog crept into the edges of his mind and worked it inexorably inward. Soon, It was swallowed up by the last that remained of Junpei's mind, and his consciousness left him. There's nothing more. Into utter emptiness he fell. Into zero. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. Bad ends. Okay, so we got the knife ending. Great. Cut and run. You have reached one ending. This game has multiple endings. In order to experience all the endings, you need to play through the game multiple times. To make sure to save your process now to retain all information you've acquired. Memory of Escape has been added to the title screen. Memory of Escape enables you to replay the escape rooms you have completed. Would you like to save the info you obtained during this playthrough? After saving, the game will restart from the beginning. Yeah. Yes. Yep, we got the knife ending. So there are 5 endings left. So this is what our flow looks like, apparently. I don't know. Locked. Oh, for this route and this route, I think. Locked. So everything's still locked. The information, I assume. Some information. Weird. Okay. Okay. We're starting from the beginning. A loud noise startled Junpei awake and his eyes half open. Okay. I read all this in the first one.
What the hell? A bed? I fell pretty far. That really hurt. Damn, my eyesight's kind of blurry. No, wait.
At first, he thought the tremor that ran through his legs was just another effect of the rude awakening, but he looked around and realized it was real. The whole room was
An
shaking.
earthquake. But it...
I had no idea what it was.
Where am I?
Oh. I think you have to do that at the title screen.
Wait,
It stopped.
what's that sound?
I can save here. Yes. So I can skip text. I can turn that on now. So I assume that means that all this text we have seen already, I can skip it if I want to. But I don't know the button for that. Oh, there we go. I found it.
Hey, hello?
Okay. I'm just gonna get through the tutorial. Seek a way out. Okay. Oh my god.
I should probably hold on to this key. Man, work. Who are...
Consider you are going to participate in
Okay. I know I'm trying to press the... Okay. Okay. Because I don't remember it offhand. So blue is 0, 0, 2, 6, 3. And 0, 2, 6, 3. Oh my god, I don't... Ah! 6, 3. Yay, did it. I can't skip it, I have to... Okay. Red is 7, 7, 4, 7, 4, 8, 5, 7, 4, 8, 5, 7, 4, 8, 5. And we got it. I forgot you have to sit through some of this. You found it.
Ow! Wait, is it over? Whew, that. Well,
Okay.
what?
Okay. I think this is a good place to save. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop for today. We got through one ending. We got the knife ending. Died. So, but that's okay. We can get the other 5 endings. 1, 2. Yeah, we can get the other 5 endings another time. Yeah. I'll take it easy. Um, you too, Spy. Thank you for coming and for following me. So yeah. Yeah, now that we have played through part of it, we can get through other parts of it pretty quickly now. I think, especially like the parts where everybody's together and stuff. It'll all be the same. So yeah. So thank you guys for coming and for watching me stream. I'm glad we got one ending. It was a pretty cool ending to get, I think, for our first ending. So yeah, let's keep going another time. So thank you guys for coming. I had fun today. We almost streamed for 4 hours. That was fun. Okay, thank you guys. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. Goodbye.